Shalom Aleichem for Gimel Elul Erev Shabbat Shoftim. Mishnah Yomi is in chapter 9 of Bava Kama Mishnah Bet. We just started chapter 9 yesterday. Perek HaGozel. Recall that Gezela is blatant robbery, not Geneva, which you had in chapter 7, which was a thief sneaking and trying not to get caught. The concept we saw yesterday was at the time of Gezela, the robber has effectively, legally, a kinyan. He gets ownership of this item, and then he has an obligation to return it, but if it's changed or changed in value, to return the full value at the time it was stolen. So Mishnah Bet, Gozel Beheim Vizkina. He stole an animal and it got old. Or Avodim Vizkinu. He stole an Eved Kanani, made him work against his will, and he got old too and less valuable. Mishalem Kshat Gezela. He has to pay back the victim of the robbery at the time of the robbery, the value of these items. Rabbi Meir Omer, Avodim Omer though, Meir says, if we're talking about Eved Kanani, he could say, Hare Shilcha Lefanecha. Behold, what I took from you, I am now giving back. Here it is. You need to take him as it is. Now, Rabbi Meir is learning that legalistically, an Eved Kanani is compared legally to karka, to land. And just like land can't really be stolen, though, as we've seen, there are cases where people can be forced off their land, but they still really retain title. So too Rabbi Meir holds that legally, the Eved Kanani can't really be stolen, so the Gozlan never had a real kinyan in it, and then he can just give it back the way it is. Now, there's some similar cases where the property that was robbed went down in value. Gozel Matbeya, he robbed a coin, Vinistak, and now it's cracked. You can't put it in the slots anymore. Peirot v'hekivu, fruits, and they're rotten, they're spoiled. Yain v'chechmitz, wine, and it's sour, it's vinegary now. Mishalem Kshat Gezela, he has to pay the original value when it had its full value. Matbeya v'nifsal, what if he stole a coin and now it's puzzle? Now, puzzle means people stopped using it as money. Maybe the government said we're changing over to new coins, or maybe it'll be accepted in another country, but no longer in this country. It's no longer typically used as currency. Or truma v'nitmet, he stole truma, the portion given to kohanim that they can eat. It became tame. Now the kohanim can no longer eat it. Or hametz, he stole hametz, some bread, some whiskey, the love Pesach, and now it's after Pesach. This chametz is now usher. Behema, it can't be used. Behema v'nevda bo aveira. He stole an animal, and there is a sin with the animal. For example, they used it as an avodah zarah. O shenifsla me'al gabei mizbeach, or it became disqualified from being used in the temple because it now has a blemish, so now it can't be used as a carbon. O shehaita yotze l'sokil, or now this animal is going out to be stoned, meaning this animal committed murder, and now the court has judged that it's liable for death, and they're going to execute this animal. Remember, we said even a chicken could be executed for murder if it killed somebody. Omer lo, he can tell the victim of the robbery, Hare shilcha lefanecha, you need to take it back as it is. Now, in all these cases, there's some kind of change, but it's not such a physical, obvious change that we say that he has a kinyan of gezela and he has to keep it and then repay, because it's sort of a non-obvious change, or it's a halachic change that's not visible to the naked eye. Now, of course, he can return it as is to be yotze, to fulfill the verse, Heishev gezela asher gezal, return what he robbed. But of course, to make things right with the victim of the robbery, he should really compensate him, to be yotze midei shemayim, and of course to do tshuva and ask for forgiveness. On to Mishnah Gimel, Natan le'umnin l'taken v'kilkalo. Somebody gave some raw materials to a craftsman to build it into something, to improve it, but they actually ruined it, and they can no longer use these raw materials. Chayvin l'shalom, the craftsmen are obligated to pay. If it was raw materials, they pay that value, but if it's actually a usable kli, like he gave him a chair that wobbled, and the craftsman broke the entire chair, he would pay for the value of the chair. Natan l'harash, she gave it to a carpenter. Shida taivo migdol l'taken, it was a carriage, or a box, or a migdal is like, it can mean a tower, it can also mean a large freestanding closet, and he wants the carpenter to fix it. V'kilko, they actually ruined it. Chayav l'shalom, you have to pay the original value of the object given. Banai is a builder, shekibel, he's a kabbalan, he's a contractor, alav listor et a kotel. He has a contract to take down a wall. Now, the Metzias there was they used to take down a wall and recycle the bricks or the stones as much as possible. V'shiber et avonim. And he actually broke the stones when he was smashing apart the wall a little more forcefully than he should, or he caused damage, like they fell on something passing by and crushed it or caused injury. Chayav l'shalom. The contractor has to pay. He took down the wall in a negligent manner. He should have kept the stones intact and avoided damaging things. If he's taking down the wall from one side, he's taking down a part of a wall, the nafel mitzad acher, and the other side of the wall that he's not directly touching actually collapsed and caused a problem, potter. He doesn't have to pay that because he shouldn't have realized that, down the wall a ways, quite a ways away, the vibrations would cause a problem a ways distant from where he was working. So in that case, he's potter. But if we know it fell because of the hammer blow to one side, we would still have to pay. So if he's hitting the west side of the wall and a stone falls out on the east side of the wall and breaks something, that would be a foreseeable damage that the contractor should have avoided. Yashar Kol Hachem, good Shabbos.